problem number two is they're giving you the half and you have to double it to make the whole. So this time they're telling you that measure of angle two is 13 degrees.
Hmm.
And since it's a bisector, the measure of angle one is equal to the measure of angle two. Or if you're doing like proofs, angle one is congruent to angle two.
Hmm.
Okay. And so this is 13 degrees as well.
Okay.
So what is the whole measure of the whole angle? S S to
26
Q to
degrees.
R. 26 degrees. Yeah. Just adding up. Now I don't know how you even show work on this,
Yeah.
but you want to show something. Like don't just write the answer. Um, yeah, you have to have a little bit of effort shown. Okay,
Hmm.
any questions on that before we proceed?
No.
Okay, three angles. Okay, so I started looking up some of these because I didn't actually know because you're actually in a different place than almost every other student taking this course, which I mean that's just the way they're teaching it. Um, Other students will eventually get here. Maybe you'll go back to them. Do you remember the relationship between PT, PS, and PU? They all come out from here. They all make that right angle. Do you remember the relationship?
Um, no.
They are all congruent,
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
which means they're all the same.
Hmm.
So if PT is 3, PS is 3, and PU is 3.
Okay.
Any questions or thoughts on that?
No.
So there's a lot of theorems you got to remember, and this is
Hmm.
one of them. And you don't have to actually remember the theorem, but you have to recognize the scenario. So it's like playing basketball. You recognize what's going on, right? So there's a center, a line going out, segment going out, all make a right angle. So here, P P equals PX equals PW.
Hmm.
That's what your teacher's trying to get you to remember or figure out here.
Okay.
So what is PV in this problem?
7.
It is 7. Okay. I don't think they're all like this, but let me just look ahead. 5 is like one we just did, I think. Yeah, ED. 6 is the same. All right, so 7 and 8 are the first ones that are different. Do you want to do 5 and 6 on your own, please?
Yeah. Would 5 be 5 and 6 be 8?
You got to be careful there that you write like PW equals 5 and
Yeah.
PD equals 8.
Hmm.
It's important. Okay. So one of the things you should notice here is that like these are all right triangles that are formed in these by these like lines that go out from the perpendicular. Um,
Hmm.
and that's where these new problems are going. That's the direction of them. Let me grab a new problem here. Okay. So it says if Py equals 2 and HP equals 3, find HY. So uh kind of looks like we're looking at this triangle here.
Hmm.
So let me just so I would draw it off to the side. H, Y, and P. Y is the 90-degree angle. HP is 3. PY is 2. Do you remember how to find the third side of a right triangle?
Is it like the hypotenuse or something?
Pythagorean theorem. Have you guys studied that yet?
Yeah.
So that's the whole um, a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Hmm.
A and b are the legs. C is the hypotenuse.
Okay.
All right, so in this problem, your A, you can think of A as 2, B, and C. So it's like 2 squared plus B squared equals 3 squared.
Hmm.
So 4 plus B squared equals 9. Subtract 4, B squared equals 5. But that's not the answer. You have to undo the square. Do you remember how to do that? Undo a square?
Would you multiply by the
Nope, different operation. Different
or
operation.
divide?
Square root.
Oh,
Square root
okay.
of both sides. So B is the square root of 5, or in your problem here, HY is the square root of 5.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions on that before we move on to the next one?
No.
Okay. It's really important to break apart that triangle.
Hmm.
It's the hardest thing is probably identifying it, but once you do that, you'll be in good shape here. Okay. And by the way, is there more to it than just this one page? Because that's all I got.
No, that's all that we sent.
Okay. We're gonna find some more stuff then, or if you got more stuff, maybe send it over here.
Okay.
But we've got in this problem, they got AP, trying to find AP. So AP is use a different color this time. We use blue. There's AP. And then PQ is there. That's not, and then they give you AR. So you have to remember that all the lines that come out are the same. So if I draw that triangle there, APR, AR is 2, PQ is 1 over here. So that means that this RP is also 1.
Hmm.
And so just like the previous problem, this is like your A, this is your B, and this is your C. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Will you attempt to solve that for us, please?
Yeah. So I got 4 plus 1 equals c squared. What would I do after that?
So add them together,
Okay, so 5.
and then how do you undo the square?
The square root.
Square root, yeah. Well, wouldn't you know it? Your teacher just grabbed this from the internet. Oh boy. Okay. I guess you'll get this next page tomorrow. We might as well keep going. Did they even oh they did kind of put their own little thing on there. Wow. Okay. So C is the square root of 5, which is that missing side there. So AP is the square root of 5. Make sure you actually label the thing that you're finding. That way
Hmm.
your teacher knows where to find it so you can get your grade, and stay eligible and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Okay, so like I said, I found this worksheet on the internet, straight from the internet. We should just keep going with it if
Okay.
you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Unless you got other stuff you want us to do tonight.
No.
Okay, so I still want you to work through these. I would write down your notes somewhere in a way that you can apply these to this page when you get it for homework tomorrow or in class tomorrow.
Uh,
Um, so PT is 5, FP is 7. They want you to find FT. So it's this little, I have the color, it's this little triangle here. So it's PT. PT is 5, FP is 7, and they want you to find that side there, F to T. So you can think of it as A, B, and C. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. B is 5 and C is 7.
okay.
So this becomes A squared plus 25 equals 49. And then you do subtract that 25 from both sides. Now, this is the first problem we've seen where you can actually reduce the root. Did you guys talk about that in class?
No.
I know you're playing sports now. Are you going to class? Or, I mean, is it possible that this was covered and you just weren't, there?
No, I go to class.
Well, I'm not suggesting you didn't go to, I'm suggesting like, maybe you've not been in class because this is a big part of it. Like, I'm just wondering, has this just not been covered at all?
Yeah, no, it hasn't been covered.
Okay. So I'm not sure how to proceed because like normally you cover how to reduce roots before doing problems like this. Are you guys using calculators?
Yeah.
All right, so that may be the reason. You maybe just go to your calculator at this point. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's have you let me take a look here. I always sometimes I pick problems and then it's like, oh yeah, it's the exception. PT, CP. Okay, so yeah, this one is like the ones we've been doing. Here's the triangle. I'd like you to set it up and solve for the missing side, please.
Okay. I got 73 equals C squared.
So PT is 3, CP is 8 though. So this is the right angle. So your A and B, or you could have switched it up. You could have put A and B here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 3 squared plus B squared equals 8 squared.
Mm-hmm.
So try that one more time. Because it should be 9 plus B squared equals 64. How do you undo that 9?
Undo the 9. Would you subtract it?
Yes. Yes.
So would it be b squared equals 55?
Yeah, so that means that when you take the square root of both sides, it's just b equals the square root of 55. We'll just leave it like that for now.
Okay.
So it's really important that you label the sides of the triangle. A and B are always what are called the legs. They shoot out from the 90 degree,
Hmm.
and C is the hypotenuse. It's across from the 90.
Okay.
All right, so let's see which triangle you're focusing on this time. Let's switch to green here. So PB, you're trying to find PB, and you're given UC. Where's UC? Uh, you're given that. Okay. So you really need to find this triangle here on the left, this green one.
Hmm.
You need to find CP because that's the same as PB.
Okay.
So see if you can set that up. It's kind of like the last one, actually.
So wait, I'm confused on like how you figure out which side is A, B, or C.
So like I wrote here, A and B are the legs. The legs come out from the 90. So
Oh,
which come
okay.
out from the 90?
UP.
Nope. The 90 is this rectangle here.
So UC and
Use
CP.
yes. Those are like A and B.
Okay.
And then the one across from the 90 is the C,
Okay.
always.
I got B squared equals 5.
So UC is a 2, UP is 3. So yeah, I agree. So it's B squared equals 5. So you take the square root of both sides. And then you just want to add in that last statement. Now the reason that works is because CP is the same as PB is the same as PD.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole thing you were working on before now. So it's the square root of 5 in the problem.
Okay.
All right, number 12. All right, PS equals 3. That's this one down here. XP. Okay, so they're being very direct, deliberate, if you will. They're looking at this one down here.
Okay.
So see if you can, and this is a good strategy to set this up kind of off to the side here.
Mm-hmm.
See if you can solve for that missing side, please.
I got A equals the square root of 16.
Okay, does that reduce?
Would it be a equals the square root of 4?
Well, when you take
Or
the square root of
4?
16, the square root goes away. So what
Okay, so
number times itself gets you back to
4.
yes. Very good. Any questions on that before we proceed to something else here on this page?
No.
Okay. Is this about the difficulty you see in your class or more difficult, less difficult?
Yeah, it's about the same.
Okay. All right, find x. Find x if the measure of angle 2 equals 4x plus 5. So it's that one right there is 4x plus 5. And the measure of angle 1 is 5x minus 2. Now, what you didn't see, because I didn't snip it in, but you will when it's on your paper that's grabbed from the internet here, is that these are angle bisectors. So what does that mean for angle 1 and angle 2?
They add up together to make a whole,
Well, they do, but
or they
what do we
equal each
know?
other.
Yes, that's better wording. Yeah. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. So 4x plus 5 equals 5x minus 2.
Hmm.
Now, this is an equation with variables on both sides. So what often happens in this class is you have to go back to like stuff you learned in a previous class, like your Algebra 1 class, and they call it refresh. Um, you want to move the smaller to the larger. Maybe you already know this, but I'm just going to say it here in the notes. So which is smaller, the 4x or the 5x?
The 4x.
Yeah, so you're going to subtract 4x from both sides. 5 equals x minus 2. How do you proceed from here? How do you solve for x?
Would you get rid of the minus 2, so add 2 to both sides?
Yeah. How do you undo subtraction by 2?
Add
Add 2. So what does x equal?
7.
Good. All right, so here is one like that to try on your own here. Going out of order. So this is 16 in case
Hmm.
you can see exactly the same thing tomorrow. This is the same type of problem as the last. Slightly more complicated to solve, but you set it up exactly the same. They're congruent. They're angle bisectors. So give this one a try, please.
Okay. I got x equals 5.
Okay. So this is, you probably noticed this in your class here. Sometimes they say to solve for x. In this problem, they want you to actually find the measure of angle 2, which means you have to put that x value back in
Oh,
for
okay.
x. Could you do that for us, please?
Hmm. I got measure of angle 2 equals 40.
Now, the measure of angle 1 should also be 40 because they're the same.
Hmm.
Is 9 times 5 minus 540? Yes, it is. Good. Any questions, thoughts on that before we go back and look at another problem?
No.
Okay. All right, so there's a couple other variations on this angle bisector that they can give you, and this is one of them. Okay. So they're telling you the measure of angle 2 is this right here, 1 plus 28x. But they're also saying the whole thing is this 59x minus 1.
Hmm.
Okay, so the way to proceed from here is to recognize that the measure of angle 1 is also 1 plus 28x. Why is that? Why is the measure of angle 1 this expression here?
Because they're congruent.
They're congruent, yeah. And if you haven't noticed this by now, in geometry, you can set things equal or they add up to something typically.
Hmm.
So we could say 1 plus 28x plus 1 plus 28x equals 59x minus 1. Now, this one's a little more difficult than the previous one to solve. You first want to combine like terms on the left.
Hmm.
Go ahead and combine those and let me know what you come up with, please.
Would it be 2 plus 54x?
56x
56.
equals 59x minus 1. As you know, like I don't, it doesn't matter to me if you use a calculator or not, just whatever you're used to in class, you can have out.
Okay.
So this equation's like when we've been solving, you should move the smaller to the larger. You'll have to move some other things around, but go ahead and solve this for me, please, and let me know what you come up with.
Okay. I got x equals 1.
Okay, I agree. Now this one actually just says to find x, so you are done.
Okay.
All right. This is the last one.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll stop after this here. So again, only a couple of types of problems you'll see. The first type is where they give you like 1 and 2, and you set them equal. The other type is they give you one or the other, and then the whole thing.
Okay.
So here they're giving you the measure of angle 1. So what is the measure of angle 2?
7x plus 7.
Yeah. So 7x plus 7 plus 7x plus 7 equals 16x plus 4. See if you can solve this one on your own, please.
Okay. I got x equals 5.
Okay. So this one does not ask for x. It asks you to go back and find the measure of angle 1, which is 7 times 5 plus 7,
Okay.
42 degrees. And the way to check that, we know that the measure of angle 2 is also 42 degrees. So we know together that is 84 degrees. Your
Okay.
check is the measure of angle VTU, the whole thing, 16 times 5 plus 4, is that also 84 degrees? And it is.
Okay.
There's a lot of built-in checks in this,
Yeah.
but it's up to you if you want to do that or not.
Mm.
All right. Any questions, thoughts on that?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and stop here for tonight. Good job.